Alrighty, guys. So we talked a little bit ago about the casting of, or I should say, the reported casting of John Lithgow in the Max reboot of the Harry Potter franchise in their own television show. We talked about John Lithgow being reportedly cast as Albus Dumbledore, the one of the most important roles, not just in the Harry Potter series, but basically in all of fantasy cinema, fantasy fiction in general. So it was a big deal. And I talked about in that article that, yeah, it's great. You get the best talent that you can possibly get. And John Lithgow is obviously incredibly talented, but also that he was a little bit on the older side, in my opinion. And if you were going to carry on this Harry Potter series for 10-ish years, well, you'd want Dumbledore to be around because, I guess, spoilers for the books that have been around for a long time, but Dumbledore is a very important character. In fact, I think his most important book is probably book 6, and he has a little appearance in book 7. So it was an interesting casting, to be sure, if it in fact goes through, because nothing's been set in stone yet. But anyways, we have some more casting updates to 2 more very important professors in the Hogwarts faculty. One in particular being perhaps one of the most important characters next to Dumbledore in the Harry Potter franchise. Those being Professor Minerva McGonagall and Professor Severus Snape. So this is an article from Deadline, and this is what it says. Quote, HBO is closing in on 2 more main cast members for its high-profile series adaptation of the hugely popular Harry Potter fantasy books. Oscar and Emmy-nominated actress Janet McTeer is in negotiations to play Professor Minerva McGonagall, sources tell Deadline. Additionally, Emmy nominee Papa Isidu, and again, I apologize if I mispronounced these names, Papa Isidu, one of the first actors identified for the series, is closing his deal to portray Professor Severus Snape, I hear. They are poised to join John Lithgow, who, as Deadline reported exclusively, will be playing Professor Albus Dumbledore. So, a little less controversial here. Again, not that, John Lithgow playing Dumbledore is controversial. I just think the age thing is something that they have to deal with at some point, because even if John Lithgow, God willing, he has perfect health throughout the entire series, maybe at 85 years old, he's like, I don't really want to do this anymore, come to set every single year and do not super physically rigorous things, but still, it's not like he sits in a chair, Dumbledore just sits around all day, although that is kind of the joke that he doesn't really do anything. But again, he is a pretty active character, especially towards the later half of the series. So, that's the one thing. But with these castings, the article mentions Emmy Award nominated and Oscar nominated actors such as Papa Isidu and Janet McTeer. It's a huge deal because you're getting high profile talent, and it's not just name brand people either. Because again, for the most part, I knew about John Lithgow, but Janet McTeer and Papa Isidu before the Harry Potter rumor mill was going on, I didn't really know about these actors. But the article points out, and it's true, that they are nominated for awards. They are very talented actors in the business, and so again, I think that it's a really good sign that these kinds of actors are very willing and game to be a part of this franchise. And I think it's also great that they're not just going for the highest profile British talent. And again, John Lithgow is American, so they might be going after American people as well. But anyways, I think that it wouldn't be a bad thing, right, to see really high profile actors in there as well, as long as they're good actors. But I still think that it's actually an even better sign that they're going after just the best people possible. So I think this is all a good thing. Now, as to the commitment, right? Because McGonagall, I think, for Janet McTeer, it's not as big of a commitment. One of the funny things about Janet McTeer, I believe she is 6'1", so she is an imposing presence, I would imagine. I haven't seen anything that she's in, but, 6'1", the only other actress that comes to mind immediately that's that tall is Allison Janney, who I believe is 6 feet tall. And in The West Wing, right, she is not imposing as in scary, but she is a presence because she's very tall and she has, a very cool, calm demeanor about her, and she has, the ability to get people in line. And I think McGonagall, in a similar way, the late, great Maggie Smith played her a little, stern, right? But gentle when she needed to be. And I think that's kind of a character trait of this character. I haven't read the books in a while, but, from what I remember from the movies and the books. And Snape, obviously, Snape is a very complicated character. So Papa Isidu has a lot of material to dig into, because Snape obviously has many layers to him. He's very cross and a very mean-spirited character towards the beginning, but then it's revealed later on that he has a lot of complicated feelings towards Harry Potter and of course his mother as well. So, and his relationship with Voldemort, his relationship with Dumbledore, it's all going to be explored. So I am actually very excited to see this, because I think you get these characters in line, and obviously they need to cast the kids. The kids are the most important, but if they cast the kids right, then I think we're off to a great start. So guys, what do you think about these new castings, or reported castings rather, for the Harry Potter series? We have McGonagall, and we now have Snape as well, joining Dumbledore in this reported cast list. Let me know in the comments down below.